Hello, so today I'm going to talk to you about bipolar disorder because I've noticed that a lot of people don't really know what it is, and because I'm bipolar myself, I've suffered a lot from people's looks, comments, because they didn't know what it was or what it is. So bipolarity is an illness with extreme mood swings. It's not a way of being, it's an illness like any other illness. We switch from a manic state to a depressive state. It's like waves, up and down, up and down, up and down. And I've noticed that schizophrenia is also very badly misunderstood. It's not having a split personality, but it's losing grip with reality. When I'm manic, I feel invincible. Ideas come and go in my head like lightning. I lose my appetite, I can't sleep, I have no concentration, I suffer from memory loss, I lose my inhibitions, I spend a lot of money, I'm 100 miles an hour, I'm full of energy, I can't stop talking and I talk very fast, no one can follow me and people get angry with me. This state can even make you lose your mind, and I've noticed we actually rarely talk about this manic state when we mention bipolar disorder or mental illness. We focus more on the depressive state, but for me the manic state can be worse and make more damage than the depressive state because we're afraid of nothing. So when I'm depressive, I'm very sad, I cry a lot, I feel useless, I'm tired, I sleep a lot, I can't think properly, I feel like doing nothing, I stay alone and lose contact with everyone, I have suicidal thoughts or perpetual thoughts of death. And for me, depression is more than sadness, it's more than desperation. It's as if you are empty, your mind is empty, your eyes are empty, your body feels empty, you have no hope left and you feel disconnected from the world. In those states, we don't reason, we follow our emotions and impulsions. So everyone has ups and downs, but we have ups and downs that are so extreme that we suffer mentally but physically as well. And when I don't sleep anymore or when I'm stressed, it's when I crash, but then medications such as mood regulators help. And I've always had those suicidal thoughts, but I thought it was normal and that everyone had those kind of thoughts until I was diagnosed bipolar. And because the illness transforms the person and his personality, it's like being on drugs. I see it like when I'm manic, I feel like I'm drunk, but instead of being drunk just one night, I'm drunk like for 9 months. That's what happened to me. I was manic for 9 months recently and it was awful. Where was I? I'm lost. So 1 person on 10 is bipolar, but those who aren't always diagnosed, so there are some people that are bipolar but don't know they are, and that's what I thought for a long time, that I was just unusual, weird or whatever, but I was just bipolar. And it can be anyone. There's not like a kind of person who can have it, it can be anyone. And there's actually a lot of famous people who are bipolar, or who were bipolar. So there was Marilyn Monroe, Audrey Hepburn, Kurt Cobain, Coluche, Balzac, and nowadays there's Jim Carrey, Chris Brown, Catherine Zeta-Jones, there are a lot, Jean-Claude Van Damme. And Zola actually used to write his novels in manic states because in that state you are full of ideas and full of energy. And all of this proves that it's not a modern illness, it has always existed. I have suffered from people's looks and comments. So today I would like people to understand that it is an illness and that the things we do or say aren't on purpose. We are pushed by the illness. And it's an illness like any other illness such as diabetes, heart disease, Alzheimer's or Parkinson's. But we get judged and pointed at just because people don't understand it. And the illness brings on other things such as obsessive compulsive disorder, anxiety or addictions. And doing yoga or going on a trip will not help, because you can bring a depressive person anywhere in the world and he will still be depressive. It's chemical, something in the brain goes wrong. It has nothing to do with willpower. It's actually the serotonin, dopamine and adrenaline which are too high or too low, which makes us or too excited or too sad. It's an illness which usually runs through the family, but it doesn't mean that if you have a grandmother or an uncle who has it, you will necessarily have it. But for me, everyone has a mental disorder. It can be anything like sleep disorder, phobic disorder, narcissistic personality disorder, generalized anxiety disorder, masochistic disorder, or antisocial personality disorder. And these disorders are all revealed by traumatic events such as humiliation, violence, or the loss of someone. That is just something I've noticed around me. Like, all the people I know have something. Like, after that, there are some, how would you say, levels. Like, obviously, anorexia or schizophrenia or bipolar is more extreme than just a phobic disorder, but everyone for me has something. Bipolarity and me, it's a long story, but what hurts the most is the atrocious things I've been through when I was manic. When I'm in that state, I'm not myself. I actually live it like a split personality. And people have been cruel, and I feel like crying when I think about it. So indeed, I have done a lot of stupid things when I was manic, but now I have to move on. I realized that the key to happiness is living day by day and living in the present and not in the past or the future. I believe that people who have bipolar or any serious mental illness have a social intelligence. We don't judge, we understand people and their pain or joy because we go through so many different emotional states ourselves. It's a fabulous feeling to be stable. I can now say that I know what true happiness is. Basically, I don't go through extremes of joy or sadness, but a little bit of joy and a little bit of sadness. And I thought that being stable was being neutral all the time. So in a way, I didn't want to lose my emotions with medication, but it doesn't work like that. It kind of just slows your brain down so that you can be in peace with yourself. Even though living with an illness like this one is very difficult and is a constant battle against our own feelings, emotions, impulsions, and mainly ourselves, it makes us stronger and makes us who we are. And if I could go back in time, I wouldn't change a thing. Bipolarity has taught me so much. I consider it to be my treasure. I learned from my mistakes. I learned to know my real self. I learned to understand other people and to be concerned for others. So I can now officially say that I am happy and proud to be bipolar. So if you meet someone who is a bit different or a bit too emotional, always remember that he or she might have a serious mental illness. So don't judge before knowing. Thank you.